Hello. Uh, Today, from chapter 2, Thinking Like an Economist. Okay. We have previous class regarding 10 principles of economics, right? We have learned that uh, we have 10 categories to provide three groups. Once it Once we are thinking of the economy, whether it is principal or whether it is macro or whether it is micro, right? These 10 principle is covering whole economic theory, and we have detect how people make decisions, okay, and how people interact, and how government intervene market, right? Because these three categories will cover all, theorem-based understanding. How, whether it's micro or macro or principal. Uh, if you fully understand these 10 principles, you're understanding whatever level of economy Peter, later on we learn you will have very easier understanding. Okay. Uh, Following this time, chapter 2, we will learn thinking like an economist. The reason why we have this kind of chapter is we have to at least get informations how economists think, okay, how economists think, okay, and that's the reasons why thinking like an economist. Okay. uh, First, okay, uh, economists analyzed economy like scientists, okay, by principle and case study and uh, economy related paper and editorial. All of these make an influence of economist thought. Okay, so also we have to detect how economists look the view of the whole world. So this is also important to detect the point of view of economists to the society and market. Uh, Also in this chapter, we will see the methodology, okay, the economic methodology. What kind of methodology economic is used? Because this is very important to diagram economic. Okay, so the methodology is also important. So we will also review the methodology used for economic explanations. Okay. Uh, okay. And also we will learn what is the economic thought. So what is the economic thought? Okay. How economists thinking of object and phenomenon of market and society. Okay, that's in this chapter we have to review. Okay, the first is the economist as in scientist. Okay, economist as in scientist, as in scientist. Okay, as in scientist. Okay, economist as in scientist. The meaning that economist as a scientist is economist, pursue the same master as a scientist pursue. Okay, uh, that means that uh, the economist, okay, also they study the economic issues by the what? Not subjective, but objective. Okay, not subjective, but objective. Okay, so uh, the physicians, for example, they study, right? The physicians study, the materials, the articles, okay, and then biologists studies, you know, the life, likewise, and then um, as- scientists and the economists also like these of researcher, they made theorem first and collecting data and analyze this and make a theorem. This is the same procedure. So we think and we called scientist, the economist as a scientist, the same procedure like a scientist. Okay. Uh, the economy itself to the common people seems to be very difficult, right? And sometimes very stranger. But the key of a scientist is okay to detect how these words are composed of, okay, by very strict observations and prove, okay, like that. So we call this kind of procedure a scientific method. Okay, we call this observations, okay, observations, okay, collecting data and analyzing. Okay, through this process, finally they make a theorem. Okay, they make a theorem. Okay, this is a scientific, we call this whole process as a scientific method. Okay, this is called scientific method. Okay, as scientists seek this process, okay, to make their theorem, the economists also follow the same procedure. So this is why economist as a scientist, okay, economist as a and scientist, okay, the same procedure. They are following the same procedure like a scientific method. Okay, so this is the basic concept how economists think, okay, think toward world and science, world and uh, social and market. Okay, so uh, like Einstein said, right? Science itself is the what? Is the what? Is the what? The observations of daily life. So deep observations of daily life. Okay. Uh, economy itself is the same. It's the same, okay? It's a deep observations of market and society right there, okay? Mm. Okay. Uh, Next, scientific method. What is scientific method? The procedure, observation, theorem, and observation again. The repetition of observations, okay? Because as you have more observations, as you have more data collections, your theorem will be more functional, okay? More punctual. So the scientific methods can be determined. The observation and make up the theory and again the observations. Okay, so that is the same method adopted in economy. Okay, then one difference things between the scientific method in social science and in the science, okay, the natural science or anyway in the engineering and scientific way, the physics, chemical. Uh, the difference between these scientific method, economic follows the scientific method, but one different thing is that economic examine economic examine use all the data. Okay, what is this meaning? Scientific scientific examine can use current data. Okay, physician, chemist, they use at the laboratory. Okay, current data at that time, at current time, because their data scale is very small. Okay, imagine that once the chemistry make an exam, they use a small material, okay, and then they can reach some conclusion. But differently in the social science, the data is quite huge, right? So they can in current exam they can correct all datas, okay, all datas. They just used all the datas passed away, and then they can make some conclusion. Okay, this is one difference between scientific analysis and economic analysis. Okay, one example here. When economists make an exam of uh, you know exam the relation between uh, spreading spreading money by government and impressions. Okay, suppose that economists try to detect the relation between money spreading and impressions. Okay, this data is too huge to make an exam at the lab, right? This data only can be detected after few years passed, even 10 years or 20 years ago later. Okay, because to detect the flow of the data of a whole country, because this data is too huge. Okay, so one different thing in scientific method, which is different from scientific analysis and economic analysis, is that the economic analysis use all the data because of it is impossible to collect current data to analyze because the data is macro and too huge. Okay, too huge. This is one different thing. Okay, but except some of these difference, most of scientific method is adopted in economic method too. So we called economist as a scientist. Okay, economist as a scientist because they follow the same method except some some difference, like the point of data. Okay, they use the old data because of the limitations of data collections. Okay, the scientific different from scientific data in the laboratory, the economic data is so huge. Okay, so huge, too huge, too correct. Okay, so they use old data. Okay, maybe 10 years past and 20 years past, like that. Okay, and they forecast. Okay, they forecast future. Okay, this is one difference with the old data. By analyzing, and they can find the trend, and they can forecast the future by using all the data analysis. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, then the difference we have heard. Okay, we have learned again, and then so we used historical data. We use historical data, not current data, because of a huge amount of data collection, and we have the restriction and we have the limitation collecting data. Okay, and okay, for example, I will give you some more example. Okay, in this day we have some war between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, so as we have previous the similar war, so we have the detect during the historical data. Okay, for example, right now we have a conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, but if economists studies the relation between war and the price of oil, today actually the price of oil jumped up, right? Suddenly, in a few days. So the war and price, okay? So some economists make an exam and he want to make a conclusion between, the relation between war and price of oil. Okay, then what kind of data he can use? I just told you economists use historical data. Historical data because the data concurrent is impossible. Suppose that now economist how he can crack data, okay, during the Ukraine and Russia war, okay. Now he had to crack the data, but this data is not correct itself because not correct because during the war, data to correct data is actually impossible. But we can even detect the price trend of oil, but this period during the war is too short, right? Too short, right? Too short. And the data is not clear. Okay, so we use the old data. What kind of old data? The data which happened in long time previous, data, which is very similar situations. Okay, and a very similar situation, like the war between, the countries producing oil. Okay, then which is very similar to this situation, right? Once the Russia is involved in this war, it's better, okay, better because the situation is more similar, okay. And historical data, as we collecting the historical data, and we can forecast what? We can forecast what? The price trend. Right now, the Ukraine and Russia, okay? Ukraine and Russia, under the war of Ukraine and Russia, we can detect and we can forecast the price trend in the future, okay? This is quite interesting, okay? Even we don't use the current data, okay, of the price during the Ukraine and Russia. Instead, we can use the historical data, which is a similar situation, but we can forecast the price trend. The oil price trend will be, okay, between during Ukraine and Russia. So this is the very scientific method. Okay, scientific method. Okay, so even not use current data, okay, we use the old historical data, but we can forecast current phenomenon, okay, current world result. Okay, so what will be the price level of oil in a month, or in a 2 months, or 3 months, in a years, okay, during the war between Russia and Ukraine, okay, like that, okay, using all the data, okay. But sometimes we cannot guarantee this forecast is punctual or not, but scientists will correct, okay, will correct or remand, the data, and then they try to make exact, punctual forecasting in the future. So this is the scientific method. The reason I give you some example and emphasizing this is that my Economists also follow the same method. Okay, same method like scientific method. So we can name the scientist as a economist as a scientist. Okay. Okay, then let's go to the next. Uh, the next is the assumptions. Okay, the assumptions in the proposal. I mean assumptions. Okay, assumptions per clear theorem is should be very simple. You don't have to give full assumptions. Okay. Uh, for example, so in a medical class, okay, the professor tried to use door door to teach his student a internal organs. Organs. Okay. Once he used the door, this door is very simple. Okay. Containing internal organs. Meaning that we don't use any very complicated, organs or complicated, artery or vein and other, miscellaneous. We don't use this one. Just a very simple organs inside and point, the positions of organs inside our body. Okay? That is because, why? That is because the first time for the easy understanding of a student. Okay? What the function of each organs and where is it located like that. Okay? Easier. Okay? Better than detailed or more complicated organs there. Likewise, the assumption in economy is also very simple. Okay, very simple. Because these simple assumptions provide easier understanding of readers or learners, students. Okay? Because professor only aim at easy understanding, easy teachings. So complicated or actual, relations and the assumption is deleted. Only the relation between two values is nominated in the assumptions. Okay? We have many assumptions and we have many related issues. But, for example, I want to let students to understand the A and B relations between two relations. But actually, in reality, we have C, D, E, F, G, etc. Many miscellaneous related to these two factors. Okay, these two factors, they are related to actually in reality, but for easy understanding between A and B, likewise in medical school, the simple door, okay, indicate internal organization, positions, and functions only. Positions and function only. Okay, this simple dark makes people understand easily. They deleted the dar, deleted internal, very complicated, connection of vein and artery like that. Okay, they delete all. Just they simply indicated, organs, positions, and function of organs. Okay, likewise, an assumption in economy to let people understanding easy, between A and B. Actually, in reality, lots of miscellaneous connection between A and or B, but we delete these unnecessary things at assumptions. Understanding. In assumption should be very simple. Just they are showing assumption between A and B only. Okay, this is the assumptions. So in theorem in economy, the assumption itself is simplified, not reality. We have to understand this. In reality, we will have more, items related, which is very complicated. But if you consider all these detailed, complicated relations, we cannot prove the theorem because we have to consider too much. So our directions for research will go different way. Okay, from originally we are aimed at. Okay, so we deleted, unnecessary miscellaneous things to make clear and to detect clearly the relation between A and B. Okay, this is applied to all of other assumptions. Okay, in the paper. So one thing we have to remember is that in reality and in the artificial, assumption is quite different. Okay, assumption is a simplest. It's not in reality. Okay, just the research are focused on what they aimed, not whole thing. Okay, not whole thing. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind. The reality and research is quite different. Okay. Okay. So I give you some assumption that in economy model, the economic model is the simplest model, right? Or in details in reality is deleted in model. Okay, in economic model. Okay, then what is the basic economic model? So we will see that. Okay, we will see that the circular. Okay, I told you the circular. Okay, we call this one the circular flow diagram. Okay, let's see what is the basic economic model. So we have to from economic model, we will start to understanding, understand the economy. Okay, so we have key two models. First, we have to learn. Okay, number one model is I told you just now, the circular flow diagram. Okay, circular flow diagram. And the number two model we have to run is the production possibility frontier model. Okay, the production possibility frontier model. Then we will go step by step. Okay. Okay. See that the first model is the circular flow diagram. Then what is this circular flow diagram? Circular, the model we have to learn first. So number one is circular the flow diagram. Okay, and number two model we have to learn as a basic to understand the economy is let me see just a few more. Okay. The second, the production possibility frontier. Production possibility frontier model. Okay, so we see these two models. Okay, the first model, circular flow diagram. So we will see this model first. Okay. Circular flow diagram represent how the economy is assembled, how economy organized. Okay, organized. Okay, how economy organized, and how the people interact. How the people in economy interact. Okay, to see this picture, this diagram show that this diagram explain how economy organized and how the people in economy interact. Okay, interact. Okay, they show this one. Okay, they show this one. So let's see that this picture assume that we have two entity here. Entity. Okay. Okay, we have a farm here, and we have a household here. Okay, each of these entity play a role as a purchaser. Okay, as a customer and as a supplier. Okay, supplier and customer either. Okay, they alter their role and as a supplier and customer. Okay, as they play a role, as they change their role, and they interact together. Okay, interact together. Interact together. Okay, as they interact together, they organize the economy. Understand? Okay. Okay, I will show you that by a diagram. Okay, and uh, here we have to define the factors of productions. Factors of productions here. Factors of productions, meaning that we have factors for productions. That is a capital, and that is the land, for building up building, factory, and also the capital, the money, and labor, the people, employee, like that. Okay, this is the factors of productions. Okay, this is major three factors of productions. Okay, so at least we have to have understand this these terms. Okay, these terms, and then I will give you the diagram explanations. Okay, see that. Okay, we have a household here. Household. Sorry. Okay, we have a household here. A household have factors of productions. What is that? Factors of production. Okay, I told you. Land. They have land. They have capital. And they have labor. Okay, household. Our home. We have composed of our family. Our family has land. And our family has savings, like a capital. And our family itself as a labor power, manpower, labor. So these three items of productions, the factors of three productions we have at home, right? Okay. From this, let's see that. Okay. From this, okay, or household, okay, or household will purchase, okay, purchase, and we will, okay, your household will repurchase what in the market, right? In the market, right? In the market and service, and the service and what? And the goods. From whom? From whom? From Palm. Okay, Palm provide, okay, goods and services, right? Okay, they provide the goods and services, right? Goods and services, okay? The market for goods and services, okay? Uh, in goods and services and Palm share, they share, and household, they buy in the market, okay? Okay, and then and then okay, then Palm making revenue. Palm making revenue. Oh, sorry. Palm they making revenue. Okay, what is the mean revenue? They share. Okay, they share the share amount. Sharing amount. Okay, they share the amount. Okay, so okay, they share their amount. Okay, yes, the revenue, the profit, meaning their profit. Okay, they profit. Okay, they make a profit. Okay, as they share the service and good. Okay, they make a profit, and then for more production, you know, uh, the palm they hire people, right? The palm hire people. Oops. And, okay. Uh, Here again. Okay, so the palm revenue, the palm as a sharing, as a sharing service and goods, right? Service and goods. The palm making revenue. The revenue is a profit, right? As a sharing this good and service, and palm they try to make more what more and productions and service and they try to make as they make an revenue the firm try to make more revenue for that they need a firm need what need and good production, right? They will increase production. For this production they has to hire you know labor rent like this one, right? uh, uh, they needed to they needed to land facility, right? Manufacturing production facility, right? Production facility, production facility, and they need what? They need labor, okay, and also they need what? They need they have like this one, right? So uh, in this case, the household will supply these items, right? These items. If they have land, they will share that one. Okay. Uh, they provide here. They provide here. Okay. Land. If they have land. Okay. Also, they can, lend, money, right? Money, right? Capital. Also, they were hired. So, uh, you know, hired, right? They were hired. So, okay, they were hired. and then wage, labor. Okay, they provide this, right? They provide this to the where? To the, in this case, the supplier is a household, right? Household. This is different from here, right? This is, in this case, the supplier was the firm share, but in this supplier seller. In this case, the seller is not firm, but household, right? Okay, this is the Plur. Okay, this is the Plur of this is we call the circular. Okay, circular Plur. Okay, circular Plur. Okay, so I will show you later on the copy of the picture of this Plur, which is very trim. But for understanding, this is very also important. Even I gave you a chalk talk, but this is very important. Okay. Okay, then here. So if I give you some more explanations, yeah. Okay, here we have we have spending. Okay, and this is spending, and also okay, this is as they shared. Okay, this one they will have the income here, right? Income here. This is income. Yeah, this is pro. Okay, pro, circular pro. How farm and household interact in the economy. Okay, household, and we call this one as the circular pro. Okay, remember this one is a circular pro. Okay, circular pro. How interact between in the market between household and farm. They're as a supplier and buyer, they alter their duties. Okay, in product and the service, the farm supplier, farm share, service and goods. The house buy this, but on the contrary, in the neighbor capital and rent, this time, household share and farm buy that. Okay, as you can see here, it is easily detect that the funder floor, right? Funder money floor and money floor alt, right? Alt. Okay, so this is how the money is floor. Okay, then from farm to household, from household to farm. Okay, they alter, they change. Okay, they exchange. This is how in the market how money flow. Okay, and the factors. What factors? The factors of productions. The main factor I told you, land, labor and capital. Okay, they flow. So this is the circular flow of fund and the factors of productions. Okay. And second model we have to learn is the production possibility frontier. Okay, what is this? Production possibility frontier. Let's see it in next page then. Production possibility. Okay. Production possibility. Let's go to next page and give you explanation for that. Okay, production possibility curve, right? Production possibility frontier. Oh, frontier. Production possibility. Sometimes my tool doesn't work and I need to fix this one. One moment, please. Okay. Okay, works again. Production possibility. Okay, production possibility frontier. So, what is the theory of this one? Okay, this theory is the once you distribute the factors, production factors of productions, factors of productions is limited for some countries, limited in some countries, in certain countries, the countries whatever, we have limited, factors, representing a limited factor in this theorem is, for example, labor. Okay, we have a limited labor for the production for some, articles. Okay? For some articles. If I give you some explanations here, okay, we have production of a computer, for example, production computer. Okay, and this is production car. Okay, the production computer and production car, the amount, the quantity of production is determined. And assumptions, the assumption, this theorem is labor. Okay, labor, the limited labor. Okay, limited labor. Okay, we have a limited labor, and we have to use this labor for certain, article productions. Okay, in these theorems, two articles, the consumptions, assumptions of this article of this theorem is productions computer and production car, right there. Okay, we have to distribute the labor for the proper productions, whether it is the computer or whether it is the car, right? This is that. Okay. Okay, what is the basic concepts of this curve, this theorem? Is that we produce lots of goods and services, but we can suppose that we have economy. the simplified economy. Okay, in reality, we have lots of the economy productions of car, you know, car, computer, and other lots of items. But in this theorem, to simplify this one, we assume two items, computer and car only. Okay, but we have a distribute our limited labors. Okay, we have a very limited labor, so we have to distribute this one for efficiency. Okay, for efficiency. So uh, we can imagine that, okay, the company can distribute us the labor is limited. We assume that the labor is limited. So the company can distribute the whole labor to for only computer production. Okay, and on the other hand, contrary, they can, assign the labors all to for just the car productions, whatever. It depending on the firm's decision, right? But the important thing here is, okay, uh, once the labor is distributed to a certain area, this firm has a, cost. What cost? Opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost. Okay, meaning that the cost not to make other product, okay, as making different product. Okay, that is we call the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost meaning that the cost not to make, okay, profit as they select another items. Okay, that is opportunity cost. So, okay, so see that. Okay, we have our largest one. Okay, well, let's go to the next page. Okay, for the larger graph. Okay, here. Okay, we have a curve here. Okay, here and here. Okay, this is car production. I'm sorry, computer production. And this is a car production. Okay, we have two productions, and we have amount, for example, 303,000 car, and we have here 10,000. Okay, we have 3,000 and 10,000. Okay, and this is actually curve, not like this, like the curve. This is not like this. This is curve which has some like this, right? Like artery. Okay, and okay, we have again less 2,000, and then okay, we have 2 thousand, and here is 1,000. Okay, and okay, and then we have 300, and we have here is 6, and we have here and here and here and here, okay, and here and here, okay. So we call this A, this point B, okay, this point B, and we have another point E, and we have another point. Sorry, this is F, okay. Okay, see that this line is none other than, okay, production possibility. Sorry, production possibility frontier. Production possibility frontier. Okay, this line is a frontier. Okay, the frontier between inside and outside. Okay, this line up to this line, this firm can only produce. Okay, okay. After this line is none of production area of this firm. Okay, inside this firm, below this frontier, this line is only, capability of this firm's productions, and out of this line is out of capability. Okay, it's so let's suppose that, okay, this is we have to distribute limited, scarce, okay, scarcity, skilled labor. Okay, here when this firm decided, okay, 22,000 computer, then this firm can extra labor to invest in 600 car. Understand? And then if this firm reduced the productions of computer down to 2,000, okay, then contrary, the productions of car will be increased as much as 100. You know what? Because this is the distributions of labor. Okay, the labor. Okay, so also, okay, this amount, 200 opportunity is 100 car production. Understand? Okay, the opportunity cost of 200, computer. What was the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is none other than the benefit which can be gained, or the benefit which is lost by selecting other items. Okay, so in this form, in this frontier diagram, as this firm decided to product 2,200 2200 computer, and then see that this firm will have 600 car. Okay, 600 car. Okay, then see that next this firm decided to reduce 200 what 200 computer 200 computer more, but their opportunity cost for the car is 100, because as much as they distribute the labor to the computer, sorry, as much as they invest this one, and they have reduced the labor for what car production. So 100 car reduction is their opportunity cost. So in this graph, production possibility frontier, we can easily detect one company level or one country level the opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost. So we have in reality a lot of other opportunity cost, but as I exposed to you in assumptions, we simplify the example and assumptions. So only two items here, computer production and car production was prepared. Okay, so this graph shows you the opportunity cost one firm and one country can, take as selecting other items. Okay, so we can easily find that the opportunity cost as we draw the graph like this. Okay, and also within this line, we call this line as a frontier. The meaning of frontier is barrier, contact, the one country to other country, right? So another word, the barrier, facing against other country, right? Okay, so this line is frontier for what? Between out and in. What is the meaning of out and in? Okay, on the basis of this frontier, this line, okay, within this line is the possibility area of this poem, and out of this line is non-possibility area. Okay, this is a capability within, but this is out of capability. Okay, so if, for example, if this point is D, okay, this is front line. This is a maximum production line. Okay, this is a maximum production line. For instance, if this firm or this country decides to produce 3,000 car only, there is no production of car at all, right? Because this is zero, right? Contrary, if this company or this country decides to only car productions, this company has no productions of computer. Okay, as graph show. Likewise, okay, if this company the side is 1,300 watt car, then the point D will be prop point. Then you can easily imagine, okay, you can easily imagine that, okay, this point is quite below this front line, right? Quite below, meaning that this palm or this country did not, reach their maximum. The efficiency is less efficiency because they can reach it, okay, as much as they use their endowment, their material, they can, their labor, considering their labor, their endowment, etc., all resources which is endowed, which is allowed for this farm or country, they can reach up to production line, this line, okay, this line. But quite below this line, here, point D, if the production is finished, this farm or this country has a less efficiency because they did their job, okay, less than they can reach. So we called in this case less efficiency. Less efficiency. Okay? Okay, it's quite less efficiency. Okay? The production accomplished following this line is efficiency, right? Because they can reach up to this line, their production, whatever. They choose car or they choose, computers. Once production is done following this line, okay, on this line, we can call the efficiency is reached. But this one is quite, less efficiency. But if the point is out of this frontier, for example, here, this is out of ability. This palm cannot reach the production, this point. Okay, this point cannot reach this point. Okay, so, but one thing, this palm can reach this one. If this palm reach that, this graph should expand out more, right? Expand out more, like this, okay, like this, out more. Should expand like that. So as much as this distance more. Then what does this mean? This means that they have improved technology. They have improved technology, okay? Because of limited labor. Because of limited labor. All conditions are limited. Instead, they reached, line which is located quite far from out of, frontier. Then this means that they have developed their technology within limited labors. Okay, this can be achieved by developing what? Technology. Okay, so this graph shows that the possibility frontier, and we can detect, whether this farm or this country has reached efficiency or less efficiency, or they have improved their technology, etc. Okay? Lots of translations can be derived from this graph. So you have to have ability to reading, this production possibility frontier properly. Okay, so we can easily detect the status of a country or the status of a farm. as we reading, as we translate the status of graph. Okay, so we have learned two key economic model. The one model is very basic, right? The circular flow model, and second model, the production possibility frontier model. With the two models, you have reached the basic concept of economy, how the economy works and interact together. And the second model show that how the production's efficiency and capability of productions, and how the labor and resources are distributed, okay, with the efficiency, like that. Okay, uh, so in this chart, thinking like economist, we have another uh, volume to learn more, but today we will finish the and we will summarize again and think like economist, and we have learned the basic economic model, two model, and what is the meaning of scientist, economist as a scientist. Okay, so I hope you can review this one again, and see you next class. Okay, thank you.